Hi, guys. So, for my 30 minutes today, since I'm stuck at home unexpectedly, and some of you guys might be too, I thought I would offer a 30-minute ish, I'll do my best with timing, yoga stretch. So, super simple, very basic, appropriate for any level. So, if you've never done yoga before, and you want to try it, now's the time. Do your best to follow along. And something I always preface class with is these positions we're going to be in are supposed to be uncomfortable. So if you feel a little awkward in them, that is perfectly normal, and actually a good thing because we're strengthening muscles and moving them in a way that we don't normally day to day, but that's actually very healthy for our spine and our joints and our mobility long term. And so it's an appropriate discomfort. And you are welcome to try what works for your body today and totally skip anything that doesn't. And I'll try to offer variations along the way that might work a little better. So, if you want to give it a try, all you need is a mat today. And we're going to get started and we're going to start lying down. How's that sound? So, lay out your mat. And I always say if you don't have a mat, a bath towel or a beach towel works just fine. It's about the same size. So go ahead and lay down flat. And you might stretch your legs out long. I might recommend that if it's possible, just so you can fully sink into the earth and relax your body. And if you have any lower back discomfort, I sometimes do. And in those days, it feels better to bend my knees and bring my feet flat to the floor. And even sometimes take the feet a little wider and kind of knock the knees together so that they're resting on one another. So either way is totally fine. I'm going to stretch my legs out long today. And we'll just start to find our breath. And so one thing you might try is bringing one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly area, and just start to take some deeper breaths. So maybe drawing a slower, deeper breath in through the nose. Maybe holding for a second at the tippy top of that inhale. And then exhaling out the nose. All the way, maybe holding for a moment at the bottom. And then trying that a couple more times. No need to force it or pressure it too much or fret about it. Just kind of gently lengthening the breath. There's no way that you can mess any of this up. Just know that going in, you cannot get this wrong. As long as you are breathing and doing your best on your mat, that is all that's necessary. So just taking a couple more moments. And we start to develop a rhythm with our breath. It's almost like waves of the ocean. They come in and out, that inhale and exhale. And it's that kind of wave that we want to maintain. We want to follow that for our whole practice the best that we can, knowing we're probably going to forget. At some point, we're going to forget to breathe. And all we need to do is bring our mind back to it. Just as soon as we notice the breath has been lost, we bring our attention right back to it. And that is really the essence of yoga practice. That's all you need to worry about. So from here, let's start to stretch the arms up overhead. And if your knees are bent, you can keep them bent. That's totally fine. And we're just going to start to inhale, stretch your left hand to the sky a little bit more, and your left toes might reach down a little more as well. So we're stretching through the whole left side of the body. It's like the left toes and fingertips are moving away from each other. And then we'll switch sides on the exhale. So right fingertips, right toes kind of stretch and move away from each other. And we'll start to take a few back and forth. So inhaling into the left. Let's pause for the exhale. And then inhale, stretch right. pause for the exhale. So start to take a few back and forth. It's almost like we're climbing a rope, like remember in gym class? Did you ever have to do that? Not to bring up maybe bad memories, but it's like we're climbing that gym rope, just kind of reaching side to side. And if you want to pick up the pace a little bit, you can. You might hear my feet scooching on the floor or your own. Awesome. And then the next time we exhale, let's hug the knees into our chest and wrap our arms around them. So we're hugging ourselves into a little ball. And go ahead and start to rock around a little bit in your ball. So you might start to draw some circles with the knees, keeping your hands there hanging on like you're drawing circles on the ceiling. Hopefully it should feel kind of nice. This is like a self-massage, a way for us to massage our own back without needing to pay anyone any money or ask our loved ones to do it for us. And then we can switch directions of those circles in the next breath or two. Yeah, and you can move any way that feels good. You know, if you feel the spot that kind of feels like you want to stay there for a minute and rock around, maybe on your outer hip or anywhere at all, feel free to do that. And then let's find center. Let's inhale to squeeze the knees into our chest. Open the arms wide to the side. So like wings or like a T shape we're making with our body. And then exhaling, knees to the left. Let's pause in that twist. And then we can gaze to the right. So turning our head in the opposite direction of our knees. Just kind of letting gravity take over. We don't need to muscle anything or force anything here. Just kind of letting gravity bring those knees heavy into the earth on the left side. Letting the shoulders relax, the arms relax, hips. And then using our belly muscles on an inhale, let's bring those knees back up through center, keeping the arms where they are. And then exhale the knees over to the right. We're going to turn our head to the left this time. So switching directions and pausing here. And maybe as we hang out here for a few breaths, you just congratulate yourself for showing up, for pushing play, for giving this a try, for taking some time for yourself today, no matter what your day looks like, if you're at work or at home or doing this later, like you decided to take this time. And that is so awesome. So feeling really good about that. And then we're going to use our breath to kind of go side to side. So we'll inhale, knees up to center, using again our belly muscles, squeezing them in, navel to spine. And then exhale, knees to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale, knees through center. Exhale, switching sides. So knees to the right, looking to the left. And then let's just take a few on our own. And you can move at your own pace. The breath is really our guide for how fast we move. We kind of link the movement of our body to our inhales and exhales. So it's okay if you're moving a little slower or a little faster than I am. Yoga is really all about just getting in touch with ourselves, with our own bodies that are different than anyone else's, with our own minds that are also different than anyone else's. And so it's really a practice about listening to both, listening to our body, listening to the kind of thoughts we're having, and making sure that we are steering both in the direction that we want to go. We do have a choice. We have power in how we make decisions, how we choose things. And so always thinking about, okay, how can I move? How can I behave and think and act in a way that's going to move me toward what I want. Amazing. Finishing up maybe one more round. Maybe feeling some belly fire just in the simple movement. And then we'll inhale, squeeze the knees to our chest, maybe rock the whole body a little side to side. And then we can even start to roll back and forth. So kind of like rolling like a ball on the spine. Or you might skip this and just rock over onto one side and bring yourself up to a seat. So I'm going to turn and face you all just so we can see a little better. Let's take a moment just to breathe in our seat, coming to crossed legs if that's comfortable, or if we need to stretch the legs out long, that's fine too. Really lovely. Let's inhale to circle arms up to the sky. Turning up the chin, gazing at the fingertips when we get to the top. And then exhale into an easy twist. So we'll bring the left hand behind us for support, pressing into that palm as we take the right hand outside the left knee. Turning to look over our back shoulder. So if you're someone that likes to crack your back, like in a chair, it's the same position. We're being gentle about it. We're holding the shape. We're taking some deep breaths. Picturing the crown of our head growing towards the ceiling as we turn the chin over our left shoulder. And then turning from our low back all the way through the upper back and shoulders. Let's pause for one more breath. And then inhale to come back to center, sweep arms up overhead. And we'll just twist the opposite direction this time. So right hand behind us, left hand comes to that right knee or thigh as we twist over that back shoulder, opposite direction. Belly still engaged, sitting up nice and tall. It's almost like, I like to picture like a spiral, a staircase with our spine. It's just twisting and winding all the way up. Still maintaining those full breaths, like all the way down into our belly. You might even get a little crack, a little adjustment. That's kind of nice when that happens. And then we can release to center. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. This time as we exhale, bringing left fingertips to the left and creeping them to the sides so that we can start to stretch that right arm all the way up and overhead. So your left arm might be super straight, like you might even have the fingertips tented on the ground. Or if you want to take it a little deeper, maybe that left forearm works to come down all the way to the floor as that right arm comes up overhead. And we'll pause in this side bend, thinking about keeping that right sit bone heavy towards the floor. So a lot of times that right side wants to lift up with us as we come into that side bend, doing our best to root down through those sit bones. Doing our best also to relax that right shoulder into its socket. Sometimes the shoulder likes to creep up by the ear. Beautiful. One more breath right here. Exhaling completely. And then inhale, taking the arms up to the sky and switching sides. So we'll just bring right fingertips out to the right. I'm getting a message. There we go. So right fingertips to the right. And we might again bring that right forearm all the way down, left arm up overhead. And then same principle, but different sides. So we want to think about anchoring our right sit bone, relaxing or left sit bone. Oh my goodness. Left, excuse me. Left shoulder back into its socket. And every time we breathe in, we can feel that nice stretch in the left side of the body. We can even turn the chin a little bit up and down to stretch and relax the neck. Beautiful. Finish an exhale. Maybe lean a little bit more to the right. And then inhale, reach the arms up overhead. As we exhale, I'm facing you guys, but you might be facing like the short edge of your mat. We're going to turn forward. So we're facing the short edge if you're not already, and simply rock forward so that you are on your hands and knees. So tabletop, this is called, and I don't have one handy, but I know my knees sometimes get sensitive on the floor. So if you have tender knees or any knee issues, you might take a blanket or a pillow and place it kind of in the middle of your mat so that your knees can rest on top of it. So go ahead and do that if you need to. And then otherwise, we will find that tabletop shape. So palms are under our shoulders, knees are under our hips. And we're going to take some cat cows, we call them. So inhale to drop the belly, lift the hips, lift the chin. That's our cow pose. And then as we exhale, we're going to press into the palms to round through the spine. So bringing hips towards our chin. And then just moving like that a few times. Inhale to drop the belly, look up, lift the hips. Exhale to tuck and round. Chin towards our pelvis, rounding through the whole spine, upper back, middle back, lower back. And then take a few on your own. So really just kind of setting this free. Again, you can close your eyes. Moving at the pace of your own breath. And really just taking some time to feel what it's like to be in your body today. Noticing any sensation from top to bottom. And this is a really good opportunity to practice noticing sensation or even noticing what kind of thoughts we're having. If we're like, wow, I suck at yoga, or like, wow, my knees are really hurting, getting kind of caught up in those negative thoughts, right? Like we forget we have a choice, or so many of us don't realize we have a choice in how we think. I even like to, in these cat cows, kind of shift my hips side to side, almost like you're wagging your tail. And then turning your head one way and then the other. You can even draw some circles with the hips. Sometimes this feels really nice for the spine too. Like if there was a pencil on your tailbone, I know it sounds weird, you could like draw a circle on the ceiling. And then kind of rocking around through the head any way that feels good. And guess what? You're at home, so no one can even see you. Who cares what you look like? Or maybe you're doing this at work, which is also really awesome. So thank you either way. Amazing. So we'll find that tabletop. We'll find center to meet up together. And then let's inhale to stretch that left leg straight behind us. So we're going to lift the foot off the floor and flex it so that toes are facing down. Inhale right here. Draw that belly in and up. And then exhale, we're going to take a little crunch. So bringing our knee to our nose. Sucking in that belly button towards our spine. Inhale, get long. Lift through the chest, the chin. Exhale, little crunch. Beautiful. How about one more? Inhale, long. Exhale, little crunch. Inhale, stretch it long. Last time, I swear, this time we're going to take that left foot and step it all the way through between the hands. So you might even use your hand to pick it up and put it there if necessary. No big deal. And then the hands frame the foot. We might come on our fingertips and we might even tuck the back toes and kind of scooch that back knee back a little bit for a bit of a wider stance. Awesome. And then from here, let's just pause for a second. Let's lift through the chest, lift the chin. Find this low lunge, and we can even rock a little forward and back. We might even draw some circles with the hips. Just kind of loosening up that joint. We do so much sitting, so much driving. It's really good to kind of add some mobility to our ankles, our knees, our hips. Lovely. And then coming center. Again, fingertips are framing that foot. Let's take an inhale to bring one hand to that left thigh, just to see how that feels, kind of squeezing the thighs together. And then maybe we'll bring the other one up. So I realize my head is cut off, but that's okay. You don't need to see my head. I think the bottom's more important. Because from here, maybe one hand is still down, maybe both are on that knee. We can start to bend further into that left knee to sink the hips, find a deeper lunge. Draw the belly in and up. And then if that feels okay, maybe we stretch one arm to the sky. Maybe if our balance feels okay, we stretch both arms to the sky, crescent pose. Pausing here, find your breath. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the forehead. Maybe think of one thing that you're grateful for today, even if you're stuck at home or bummed about the weather or going through any challenge at all. Maybe there's still something to appreciate in this moment. Let's take one more big breath in, maybe tipping back even a little bit more. And then as we exhale, we're going to start to straighten that left leg. It should feel pretty good. So straightening that left leg, coming onto that left heel, and then fingertips can start to walk forward. We call this a half split. So we're reaching our heart towards our left toes. Should feel a nice big stretch through the whole back of the left leg. Feeling the breath. Maybe in this fold, we feel the breath less in our belly and chest and more kind of in our back. Maybe as we inhale, we feel the breath fill up the low back, middle back, upper back between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. How about one more inhale? And then as we exhale, bend back into that left knee. Hands are on either side of that foot, and we'll use our belly to squeeze that knee in towards our chest and step it back in line. So we'll find home base, tabletop. We can swing the hips a little side to side, maybe take a couple cat-cows. Also a really good time for child's pose. One of my favorite poses we have not done yet, where we bring the big toes together. Let's all do it. Knees out wide to the side. And then sit back on your heels, reaching your arms out in front of you. So you might be able to bring your belly and chest towards the floor. Maybe forehead comes to the floor. This is an amazing rest pose you can come to at any time in any yoga class, whenever you need a break. This is like a really perfect checkpoint or rest point. So taking maybe 3 more breaths in your child's pose, or maybe you're still in table, taking those cats and cows. And maybe we'll just bring back to the front of our mind why it is we decided to push play today, why we showed up for this time, what it is we're hoping to get. And maybe just taking a moment to appreciate that we have made it this far. We're here at all, so good for you. And we'll use that to inhale ourselves forward, if we're not already, into that tabletop, hands and knees. How's everyone doing? Hopefully well, hopefully feeling a little more loose. And we're just going to take that on the other side, nice and slow. So we'll start by inhaling that right leg straight behind us, flexing the foot so toes are facing down, drawing the belly button in and up. Let's inhale, squeeze and lift one more time, and then exhale, draw that knee toward our nose. So it's kind of the same move as cat-cow, right? We're stretching long, looking up, inhaling, and exhale, rounding through the back as we crunch that knee to our nose. One more time. Moving like we're in butter or honey. Inhale, long, amazing work, looking up. Exhale, this time using either our belly or maybe our belly and our hand to step that foot all the way through to center. Hands come on either side. We might again tuck the back toes and make a little wider stance. Not necessary. So if you're good where you are, that's perfect. Just finding a lunge that feels, comfortably uncomfortable. And a really good way to measure is, can you breathe? That is really the question to ask. So if you are in a place where you are gritting your teeth and holding your breath, that might mean scooch the back knee in a little bit more, come out of the shape a little bit. But if you're cool, if you're breathing freely, and this feels kind of easy, you might be able to do more. Your body might be able to handle more today, and it changes day to day. So just kind of feeling it out, letting breath be the guide. And you might start to make some circles with that hip. I like to call it like flirting the hip open, right? We're not being rude or like forcing the hip or like jamming it open. We're just kind of being sweet to it and taking some nice circles. And you can always feel it out the other direction, take some sweet circles the other way. Hello, hips. Sometimes our hips feel a whole lot, and mine are feeling a lot today. So if that is you, I am with you. Maybe it's the snow. Yeah, and then we'll find center. We'll pause here and we'll take our time. We'll bring one hand to that knee and see how that feels. And then if that feels cool, we can kind of squeeze the inner thighs together as we bring that other knee up. Or that other hand, excuse me. Yeah, sinking low in the hips, shifting the weight forward. And if this feels okay, from there, we might stretch one arm up overhead, and then the other. We can turn up our chin. Maybe as we pause here, you think of, I challenge you to think of one thing that is really awesome about you today. I know that we're all working on stuff. We're all trying to be better and healthier versions and who knows what else, all kinds of stuff we're working on. But let's not forget to appreciate exactly where we are today and all the amazing gifts we already have. So as cheesy as that might be, take a moment, celebrate something going really well for you right now. Even just the fact that you're here still and breathing. And let's take one more inhale, maybe tip up a little bit, bending back, and then exhale. Whoo, should feel so nice. We'll straighten that front leg. Start to bring fingertips on either side of that foot and find that half split. So just relaxing the best we can into this big hamstring stretch on the right side. Find the breath if we've lost it. Coming back to that wave, that slow and steady inhale and exhale. And maybe as we do so, we notice the muscles in the right leg start to soften a little bit more. Maybe we can bring the hips a little further back. Fingertips maybe a little further forward. How about one more breath? One last inhale here. And then let's exhale, bend back into that right knee. Hands frame the foot. And we'll squeeze that right knee back in line with the left, tabletop. Go ahead and take a couple swishes side to side. Maybe you want to sink right back down into child's pose. Stretch the hands out in front of you. Take a couple breaths. Really amazing work, everybody. Let's inhale back up to hands and knees. And just cross at the ankles so we can come back to seated. Okay, good. We're doing good on time. So we can, from seated, swing the feet out in front of us and just come all the way back down to lying on our back. So from here, we might squeeze the knees in one more time, rock a little side to side. Let's take a final twist. Let's open the arms up wide, just like we did in the beginning, letting the knees fall to the left, gaze to the right. We did it. Feeling so amazing about your effort. Everything you were able to give today is more than enough. You made it till the end. You showed up. We can inhale, squeeze our knees back to center. And exhale, other side. Maybe as we take this final shape, we can think about one thing, maybe that we noticed in our practice or a thought that we had or just something that we want to carry with us for the rest of the day. Inhale, we can squeeze our knees to our chest. One more time. I know for me, something I'm always working on is being present with the task I'm doing and giving it my full attention rather than just thinking about crossing it off my list or getting to the next thing, really just giving my all to each and every task. So that is what I hope to carry forward today. And with that, we can spread our legs out long, or again, if you have low back sensitivity, you might bring feet to the floor and maybe even knock the knees together. Arms can be at our side or resting on our body, somewhere comfortable. And let's just take one more big breath in together. Hold it at the top. And then sigh out our mouth, taking just a few moments of designated, well-deserved rest. staying here for longer if you need to, really as long as you like, no rush. But if you're feeling ready to reawaken, we can do so gently and gradually, maybe just starting with stretching long, arms up overhead, reaching from tips of the fingers to tips of the toes. We might roll over onto one side, pause for a moment just to bring ourselves up to a seat. And then from here, we can bring palms together at our heart like a prayer shape. It's just a gesture of gratitude, appreciation for this time and for yourself for taking this time. And I hope that we feel a little more grounded and calm and nourished to take on whatever else is in store for us today. And for the rest of the week, for that matter. So thank you all so much. Namaste. I hope that went okay for everybody. It was so nice to share with you if you tried it. And I'm always here if you guys need anything at all. So feel free to reach out. Bye.